So are you thinking about moving to the Pascack Valley here in Bergen County, New Jersey? Also, where the heck is the Pascack Valley and what towns does the Pascack Valley encompass? So let's talk about this amazing area here in Bergen County. In this area, you've got 8 towns that pack some great schools. You have easy opportunities to commute into New York City as well. And you've got price points that range from the mid 600s all the way up to over $1 million. Really just going to depend on where you're looking. So if you want to know more about this fantastic area here in Bergen County, stick around. I'm going to give you some great insights to see if this area actually makes sense for you to want to live in. So what is the Pascack Valley? Well, it's 8 towns here in Bergen County, just a little bit west of 9W, which is along the Hudson River, and just a little bit east of the Garden State Parkway. Those 8 towns encompass Montvale, Park Ridge, Woodcliff Lake, Rivervale, Hillsdale, Township of Washington, Westwood, that's 7, and then Emerson. There is a debate in the Pascack Valley where some people think that Old Tappan as well as Oradell are part of the Pascack Valley, but I'll leave that up to you. Those are 2 great towns as well. So I just say let's include them because they're all kind of in the area here. The Pascack Valley is actually named after the Pascack Brook, which actually just kind of meanders through this area of Bergen County. Depending on where you decide to live here in the Pascack Valley, you can expect it to be about 25 miles from New York City. You've got some great commuting options here as well that we'll get into. Let's talk about the location of the Pascack Valley. Major highways that you have nearby are Garden State Parkway. You've also got Kinderkamak Road, which basically is a thoroughfare that will take you from north to south, starts in the Hackensack area, makes its way all the way up to Montvale, and in fact, you can go into Rockland County, New York. You've also got Route 17 not too far away. That's also another major thoroughfare here in Bergen County. So you've got a lot of options here if you have to get to the George Washington Bridge, make your way a little bit further south to the Lincoln Tunnel, the Holland Tunnel as well. Easy to get to Route 80 also, so a lot of major highways cut through this area, easily commutable. Not only that, but you have some great public transportation options here in the Pascack Valley. You have New Jersey Transit's train line. In this section, this is known as the Pascack Valley line. In any of the towns along the Pascack Valley here, you can actually pick up the train. There's stations that you can access and easily jump on the train. Just keep in mind that this line goes to Hoboken, but you can easily switch in Secaucus to bring you to Midtown Manhattan. Generally, your commutes are going to be under an hour potentially, maybe a little bit more door to door. Of course, that's just going to depend on where in New York City. The other thing to keep in mind with this area, many of the towns have public parking as well. Here in Westwood, for instance, you just need to get a sticker. You put that on your car. It usually lasts for up to a year. Pretty cheap, and it's first come, first serve parking. And the town will designate where you can actually park. One of the other reasons I love the Pascack Valley is not just having the train, but you also have bus service as well. So what's great about having bus service here is that if, let's say, the train breaks down or maybe it's running behind, you can run to the Port Authority and actually take the bus. Most of them are express from this area. So it just gives you another great option available to you here in the valley. The only thing with the bus, yes, there's an express lane that takes you into the Lincoln Tunnel. Just keep in mind, sometimes traffic really can kind of stink. So if you're thinking of that hour-to-hour time frame, it might actually be a little bit longer, just going to depend on the day. And then those of you that actually have to commute, let's say, to northern Manhattan, or maybe cut through the Bronx or head out to Long Island, we're very close to the George Washington Bridge as well. So you can easily get there from Route 4, just head over the bridge and then make your way through Manhattan or wherever you have to go. One of the big questions I get from home buyers here in the Pascack Valley is, what is the typical home price in the valley? Ultimately, that's really going to depend on where you're looking. Out of those 8 towns, actually maybe 10 if you're including Oradell as well as Old Tappan. Like I mentioned at the top of the video, you could be looking at mid 600s up to over $1 million, just really going to depend on the town that you're looking at. If you're thinking on the higher end, over that $1 million price point, you're definitely going to find some of that inventory in towns like Rivervale, Woodcliff Lake, Old Tappan, Oradell, as well as Montvale. In these areas, definitely think larger homes, a little bit more land. Some are even lakefront, just depending on where you're looking. Old Tappan, for instance, has some lake area, so does Woodcliff Lake. And you can even find some newer builds in these areas as well. But keep in mind, taxes tend to match the size and the lot size of these homes. If you're thinking of that mid-range, 600 to 900 or so, that's going to give you more options and more towns to consider. For something more moderate, you definitely want to look at Westwood with its awesome downtown area. I live here. We've been here almost 20 years. We absolutely love it here. You've also got Hillsdale, Park Ridge, Emerson, as well as the Township of Washington. Each each of these towns offers a different kind of a vibe, and I've got all kinds of videos on my channel that give you some insights into these towns. The thing about all of these areas, you're definitely going to find a smattering of different types of homes here. You've got colonial, splits, bi-levels, Cape Cods, as well as some new construction sprinkled in as well. One thing I will tell you, there's certain parts of the Pascack Valley that might have some flooding issues. So if you have questions about that, I can definitely give you insights about those areas as well. In fact, I have a personal story about that. You can check that video up here. And of course, the market obviously moves, right? So always check those current numbers. I'm here to provide insights as well. Any questions that you might have, you can always reach out. But generally, that's how the valley splits out. All right, next up, let's talk about taxes and what are the taxes like here in the Pascack Valley. So there are certain towns in Bergen County that have a high tax bracket. And a lot of times you're paying for the school systems there or just what the town offers. So think of Ridgewood, for instance. Everyone seems to want to be in Ridgewood because of the schools, but taxes are pretty high there. But you've got some great options here in the Pascack Valley where your taxes are lower and the schools might not be that bad actually in regards to actual rankings. So I'll get into schools in a second, but let's talk about taxes first. Property taxes are obviously going to vary by town, but here's the gist. Towns like Vale, Oradell, and also Montvale, they're going to carry higher effective tax rates. But you're also going to find higher home values here as well. So annual bills, they tend to be up there. But towns like Emerson or Westwood, for instance, they tend to be a little bit more moderate. Always check the actual tax rate and multiply by the assessed value to give you an idea of what your taxes might be like. Now that's a little bit too much math for you. I can definitely help you with that. So feel free just to reach out. I'm happy to answer those questions for you. Okay, one of the biggest questions I get from any buyer who's looking here in the Pascack Valley is, how are the schools? I can't tell you necessarily what my opinion is. I can give you some insights of what other people have told me, but what I like to do is refer people to either niche.com or greatschools.org. It's not my job to steer you from one town to another. You really want to do your due diligence just to make sure that the schools really hit the areas that you're looking for. Generally, schools are definitely a huge reason why people move to this area of Bergen County. The Pascack Valley Regional High School District, which serves Montvale, Vale, Hillsdale, and Woodcliff Lake, gets very strong rating. Towns like Vale, Woodcliff Lake, Montvale, as well as Old Tappan, they often show up with higher rankings in greatschools.org or niche.com. But all of the Pascack Valley schools have a solid reputation. Always do your homework first. Go to niche.com, try greatschools.org. Those are awesome starting points for a lot of people. But if you know anyone in the area, definitely reach out to them as well. And try those Facebook groups as well. You'll get a lot of opinions and you'll get some insights too if you join some of those Facebook groups that are local to the area that you're considering. All right, so there you go. A very quick tour of the Pascack Valley here in Bergen County, New Jersey. You've got great schools, great community feel, easy New York City access, that mid 600,000 range to over $1 million, just depending on where you're looking. If you're thinking about making a move here and you want to learn more about this area, definitely reach out. Like I said, I've been living here for almost 20 years and we really love living here. Got a lot of green space, so you've got park, nice community feels throughout. I'm happy to help you figure out what might be the best area for you based on what you're looking for. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.